Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Box. In today's episode, we're going to answer the question, why do people feel the need to announce they're homosexual? I've never seen a heterosexual person make a video to announce they're straight. Honest question. And it's honestly a good question, you know? I think a lot of heterosexuals feel the same way or question why homosexuals have to do it. And the simple answer is because it's not the norm. You know, the norm is man and a woman love each other. That's a heterosexual relationship. And that's just kind of the common thing you always see. So people don't always have to announce that because it's kind of assumed. Whereas homosexuals or like gays, queer, straight, whatever you are and however you identify, it's not the norm. It's not the social norm. So it's very different than what people would expect.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to come out. That's why we have to say it. So like we can start having more representation and make it more normal.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people in this community who feel like they're completely non-existent, I guess, in a way, because they don't see that representation. No one talks about it. It's always kind of looked down upon, or it used to be looked down upon a lot.
Okay.
And for someone to finally come to that place where they can say, hey, I'm gay, or I'm trans, I'm queer, I'm bi, whatever way you identify, it gives the community and those other types of people someone to look up to and being like, oh my God, there's other people in this community just like me. And when you're in a community where no one talks about it that much, or you're shoved to the back, or no one cares, they make fun of you, it's hard to be able to be okay with who you are when people around you constantly are telling you it's wrong. So I think that's why we feel the need to announce it, because we're trying to show other people in the world that it's okay to be seen. It's okay to be who you are. And I think the only way to do that is to announce. Let's go back to, I guess, social context and historical stigmas. I kind of just touched on those, but it's historically known that being openly LGBTQ plus was not socially accepted, right?
It still isn't to this day in some countries. Kind of piggybacking off the fact that, like, it's a social norm that you are odd or you are definitely an outcast if you are different than the heterosexual cis women or men. And that is why a lot of people are, one, scared to come out, and two, coming out doesn't necessarily have to be a statement, but the more people that actually speak about their sexuality is those who are going to push the progress forward.
It's
Or the
encouraging.
movement,
Yeah,
I
it's
should say.
encouraging, especially if you're someone who hasn't gone to that point and you're not comfortable. It's nice and welcoming to see videos on social media where other people have the courage or got to that place where they can be confident and say, hey, I'm gay and this is me. Love me for me. I'm not going to change. This is who I am. It's very empowering to see that in the world or with other people, because coming out is so hard.
But then there's also that side where you see people who come out and their in text on their video is, I'm gay or I'm bi or whatever, and I don't know if I have a place in this world.
Yes.
Or I know I'm not going to be accepted. So everyone's already conscious about the negative side of coming out. It's the fact that you have the strength and the self-esteem / power in your own human body to actually make that step forward and take that step to come out as an ally. Because of May, because of a lot of my other friends who are part of the queer community, a lot of people are scared shitless to make that progress forward because of the backlash of our entire social norms.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live demographically, yes, it will be easier for some, and yes, it will be much more difficult, and you will stay closeted in many other places.
And it doesn't help who the sitting president is, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of these
Pronouns.
laws, pronouns, things that past presidents have tried to push to make the queer community more visible. But we see now that, like, we're going to get some rights taken away. We have things that are in progress that will strip homosexuals or the queer community of starting families. Maybe IVF will get taken away from us, but IVF isn't just for gay couples. It's for straight couples as well if you can't produce on your own. And by having a sitting president or people in Congress, Senate, whoever makes up these laws for us in America, it's crucial that we need people who will stand up for us because we're already the outsiders. To wrap up that first social context on like why we have to announce it, always because heterosexuality has always been presumed the norm. So announcing being straight has never been necessary because everyone just assumes that, right?
Until they are told otherwise. And so
Correct.
that is why coming out is important. It's a huge like part in your story.
So the next one on like why we have to announce and why we come out essentially is for representation and visibility. Like I said earlier, LGBTQ individuals making announcements creates that visibility and representation for others who may feel isolated. Like I said earlier, there are tons of people who are a part of this community but feel so isolated because one, they're the only one in their family. They're the only friend who's gay. They don't have anyone else to reach out to talk to. And I think that's why social media is so great that we can make these videos. We can create a community with all these people who may feel isolated and hopefully encourage them to come out themselves, because I will say coming out is a huge relief. It's so much easier to live your truth than to hide in the closet and to be scared and hide that part of you.
You're not 100% you.
Yeah.
And you always know that subconsciously. And that is the hardest part, or I assume, because if I had to put on a mask every single day in front of individuals that I know do not accept me for who I am 100%, that every single day or every single interaction is going to kill you on the inside.
Representation helps normalize different identities
Yeah.
and contributes to societal acceptance. The more people talk about it, the more people are known that others are out there. It's bound to happen that you feel more accepted. Obviously, we still are kind of the outsiders, the outcasts, but as time goes on, you see how powerful people can be when we all get together. Bottom line, it's for representation and visibility. I also think making coming out videos, or this person who asked, it's a personal milestone in self-acceptance for this person. It's harder doing it than saying it. But when people get to this point, you feel comfortable enough and powerful enough to say it and say it proudly to everyone. And that's a huge milestone because, again, there's so many things that you have to wrestle with and come to acceptance with by yourself, within yourself, as that gay person or queer person that straights don't have to deal with or have to go through. So again, a coming out video, a coming out whatever that person chooses is honestly a milestone. It took so much courage for that person to stand there, tell their truth, be proud of themselves, and obviously it's scary thing to do because you don't know what type of reactions you're gonna get. But in today's world, we're lucky that there are more people who accept us. So the chances of you not being, targeted or have a negative impact on your coming out is a little bit less. Obviously, it's more scary when you go on a social media platform, or if you have a platform and you have tons of people having comments or think that they can insert themselves in something that doesn't have to do with them at all. It can be scary, but I want to say coming out videos is a milestone of self-acceptance.
And with that topic of like milestone, a lot of the question was like, but I never see a straight person make a video announcing they're straight. But that's not a milestone. Like May said in the beginning, that is a social norm. Everyone assumes you are straight until you are told differently. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't make like being gay your entire personality. No, but you also have to keep the image and the idea and the movement going forward that it is okay to be gay. It is okay to be trans. It is okay to be whatever you want to identify with. And I feel that, like May said, with our platform, we have a responsibility as influencers. I hate that word.
I hate it too.
But with people with a following, to not be quiet. You cannot be quiet now. Especially now. And a lot of people are like, yeah, we hear it. We need to use our voice. We need to be loud. We need to be proud. Yes, but you actually have to do those actions. You can't just say it and not do it.
I think also many people will announce they're coming out for friends and family. You know, in today's world, you don't have tons of time. You just sit on the phone for hours and hours and hours and talk to your loved ones and friends about your coming out in your journey, which you may for a few of them, but not all of them, right? So in today's world, social media really helps with that. You get to choose one place that all your friends and family are gonna look at, and then they get the news right then and there. And it's just to help clarify your identity to your loved ones, especially if there are assumptions about your heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Like for me and my family, I don't want to say most of my family assumed I was gay, but low key, yes, they assumed.
You definitely said things that were along the lines of, hey, like, I'm not straight. I don't like boys.
Yeah.
Like, you always said you didn't like boys. You always got like the ick from them, which is funny because you were kind of saying it in your own way at the time. Because as an 8-year-old or as a 10, 13, 15, 16 in high school, like, depending on where you are, we were in a private school. You could not blatantly say that out loud. At least that was the subconscious. You, in general, were not hiding it. So you were giving like people growing up like, oh, okay, so like she doesn't like boys. She said that multiple times. I feel like you kind of were telling us just in your own way until you were ready to actually come out. And the social media thing and like how it's more accessible because you could post it on one page and a lot more people can see it at the same time. I'm just personally like curious, do you think some people will use social media thinking like, oh, this might be like an easier way to come out instead of having that like one-on-one conversation with somebody? Or do you think like it depends on the individual, but also like maybe they just wanted to post it and maybe they're having those one-on-one conversations?
I want to say both. I think it's a mix between, it depends on the person, but I also do think there are people who post their coming out on social media, but also have those deeper talks with those important people in their life. Like I did. Like I came out obviously to my friends first because I wanted them to know first, and then I released it on our platforms.
Yeah.
I just didn't want those who I hold close to me to find out from social media and not from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just the way I went about it. I made sure those that meant a lot to me, and who are close to me knew first, and then everyone else couldn't find out. I think a lot of people, like I said earlier, it's a milestone. I just think it's something that a lot of queer people go through. They're like, okay, I finally hit this place where like I'm comfortable speaking about it. I'm ready for other people to know. I want to find more people in the community.
Yeah.
So I think that's also why people post it.
Yeah.
Because that's how you can like get more people
support
in your community being like, oh, I see you, I believe you, I support you. Especially those people who just don't have it in their normal everyday lives.
Yeah.
I think social media
have like opened up
brings that pool of people and the queer community to them, so it feels less isolating. To wrap up this entire episode, I think as society becomes more inclusive, coming out announcements may become less common or necessary because it's already known. It's less of a outcast, outsider community
now. Yeah, it's gotten a lot.
Yeah, because it will be more inclusive, and I think hopefully as time goes by, our community will be seen more and more and more.
And the only way to do that is to consistently be out there making your voice be heard.
Yes.
And that's the only way. It's very tough. It's going to be a hard road. Nothing is easy. But as you can see from where we are now, from 2018,
Yeah.
The vast difference has changed. A lot more people are more welcoming now.
There's a huge shift
Yeah.
in inclusivity mostly every year. I want to say every year. I'm interested to see what happens in the next 4 years, but I want to say from at least 2015,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's been a huge improvement in inclusivity within the community and heterosexuals. Like there's just more inclusivity all around.
Like that can only be done if you are loud and proud.
Yeah. However, though, for right now, I think these coming out announcements remain a way to stand against prejudice and affirm one's identity. That's just solely why people come out. This was a great question.
And there is no hate toward this person or question. We left their name out for a reason, but it was a great conversation to have, especially because they're right. You don't see straight people. I don't make a video saying, hey, just beware, I'm straight. Like, I don't do that, but this is 100% different. And I really enjoyed this question because it allowed us to kind of dig deeper into why you need to be loud, why it's important to come out. All we wanted is to make a community here on our YouTube platform and all social medias across, I think, is in general being a positive, loving community, no matter who you are, what you identify with, or your background. And that is truly what we want to continue on this platform as well, is you are going to be loved, honored, and cherished here. We will support you if you have nobody there.
The best thing that people can do is be happy and proud of these people. Just because we're different doesn't mean we can't support each other.
And if you don't like it and you don't agree with them, that's okay. That's your own opinion. But it is so easy to swipe away. You do not need to comment really harsh things on things you already know you don't agree with.
No,
I don't
agree.
think adding to the comment section with negativity is helpful in any way.
It's not. It just makes you look like a dick.
Yeah.
That's all we have for you for this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I truly love this question. And I'm glad that we could have talked about it and spoke about it more, so other people who may have had the same question now have the answer as to why coming out videos are just so important and why they exist.
If you guys have more questions like this, please don't hesitate to ask them in our comment section. We truly do look at all of our comments because we like to see what you guys are talking about. And we do really like these types of questions where we can make a video and like dive deeper and have these one-on-one conversations with you guys because it makes it more personal.
Yeah.
If you have another question, whether it's about the queer community, whether it's about May's journey, whether it's about being an ally or things that you can do in the community to help progress the journey, leave them in the comments. Or if you have other interesting questions for us, whether it's about our life or just random questions, we would be happy to answer those as well. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And make sure to keep loving and keep listening.
And as always, be kind to others and happy yourselves.
And we'll see you in the next
episode.
Bye.